Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live Recruiting Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Dadgummit. Today is October the 2nd for you. It's October the 1st for us. Keep that in mind. Moving forward, if we slip up and say today, tomorrow, or yesterday, we will do our best. But as we always say, we're susceptible to errors.
Yeah.
We do make mistakes every once in a while. Every once in a while, we'll make a mistake. When I say we, I mean Mr. Cole Pinkston and Mr. Allen Head. How about you, boys?
How about you?
Hey, how about you?
How about you? We would never mispronunciate a name, Jeffrey. Like that just wouldn't happen. You'll always be my McElderry.
Yeah, you'll always be my Jalen Head.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh,
that was a good one.
Jalen Head.
Yeah.
So, what is it? Jeffrey.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like how you just, hey, I'm just going to introduce myself. And
there you go.
Mr. Cole Pinkston and Mr. Jeffrey Lee and Allen Head.
Yes.
Hey. You make enough mistakes, you learn how to fix them. Hey. All right, folks, we've got a fantastic show for you today. Why? Because although Auburn's struggling in the season on the field, it does not appear to be, at least now, affecting things off the field in recruiting. So far, so good is my mantra, is what I've been repeating on interviews, radios, and podcasts throughout the week. So far, so good for Auburn in recruiting. We're going to get to some questions from the corner. We've got some high batches to dish out. We'll get to at the end of the show. We want to get to our first question, but before we do, you notice how good I've been looking?
Oh, yeah.
You see that? I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I didn't realize, like, how good clothes could feel. You know what I mean? I go down to, like, B.T. Barnum and Bailey Circus. What's that? B.T. Turner's?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I get what's on sale. You know, get a cotton T-shirt, dude. But this is Roback, and Cole can attest to it. It hits different. It hits different. Let me tell you.
It does.
Let me show you the back too. There's a power stripe on the back.
Yeah, look at that.
You see that?
Your microphone was blocking it, but we saw it enough. Yeah.
Had to pop his collar on that one.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then I've rocked the Aubie.
I love that shirt.
Me too. And I've seen it, so people are aware of this stuff, man.
Listen,
there was
plenty of Roback at the Auburn Oklahoma game. I saw it on my walk down. I was like, man, Roback is everywhere.
Oh, it feels so good. If you're not familiar with Roback, you should be. There's only one way to describe Roback: best fit, best feel. That's really two ways to describe it. But for those who aren't familiar with Roback, they are completely changing the game with their incredibly comfort activewear. I can attest to that, man. I wish I could wear this more than I do. Roback just released their new licensed game day collection. It's awesome. This is part of it. This is the Auburn collection. There's a Jordan Hare Stadium polo. There's a lot of cool stuff, man. Novel polo designs, a clean hoodie, and the quarter zip designs in some of your favorite schools, Auburn being that. They've got some NIL packages out, but we won't discuss that. Hey! They've also got some really good shorts, perfect for pairing with your shirt. So comfortable, have an elastic band and great fabric that is made to have the appearance of a nice short, but the comfort of an athletic short. And there is a special going on right now this week. Go to roback.com. Use the promo code Auburn20, AUBURN20, for a generous 20% off all new customers through the end of this week. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with the code Auburn20. Go check it out, dude. I promise you. That's one of those things you might pay a little bit more than you would at Target or Walmart. And you go, damn, this is worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. It's really it's a difference maker. We appreciate Roback for sponsoring the show. All right, fellas, let's get right into it. Let's see what the listeners, the watchers, the members, the non-members want to know about this week. Actually, it would be the members. This is a perk of being an Auburn Live subscriber. You get to ask the questions. You get to run the show. Okay.
Yes.
Literally, you run the show. Nick Marshall's rug test.
What a name, dude.
This guy, he's very positive.
Apparently.
I'll miss the joke.
very high on Deuce.
I got it. That one went right here.
If Deuce Knight commits to Auburn, do y'all see a domino effect with other recruits? And if so, who would you see following after? Deuce Knight, the quarterback from Mississippi, who's committed to Notre Dame, has visited Auburn for the past 5 games, for the first 5 games, including an official visit this past weekend. I wrote on Auburn Live on 3 today, the message board, The Corner, that things seem to be buzzing and trending in the right direction for Auburn. And we think a decision could come pretty soon. I mean, we've been saying that, but it's kind of been an up and down roller coaster with this guy in Auburn. But we really feel like things could be coming to a head, and in a good way for Auburn. So, fellas, if Deuce Knight does in fact flip his commitment to Auburn, do you see a domino effect with other recruits? I mean, Auburn's already got 25, and if so, who do you think they would be?
Domino effect, no. A solidifying effect, yes.
Completely agree.
And maybe Nelson McGuire. Maybe that helps him go ahead and pull the trigger. I think that's a young man that's going to take his visits, but we're shopping for another interior offensive lineman, and he would be a really great one to pick up. So maybe that's somebody Deuce could help get into the class. But that's probably the only one I'm thinking of off the top of my head. Maybe Caleb Cunningham. That might be the other one that he would have an effect on.
Cole, don't you think Caleb Cunningham just almost even for guys like Naeem Alford, just make them feel better about Auburn's class, about Auburn's future when you get a guy like Deuce Knight? Cole, go ahead though. You had you might have had a devil's advocate opinion here.
Somewhat. I mean, not really. Nelson McGuire is somebody I thought about. Andrew Babalola is still out there trying to make a decision on things. He opened up to Chad Simmons about that and was kind of like, I thought I'd have a decision by now. I don't. Auburn's still in the running along with some other schools. This is why. All that was good. I'm thinking weapons, offensive weapons. Sam Turner is a guy that comes to mind.
Yes.
Because he's, he came to a game didn't necessarily a little bit uneasy about it.
Right.
Not in a horrible way, but I just need to see more is what he's left saying. So would the more be, hey, I got a quarterback in your class? I think it would help. It definitely would not hurt. I don't see a way that it hurts. And then, Auburn just put up over 300 yards passing, so they're getting better in that regard. And if you have a quarterback like Deuce Knight to plug into that, there's a lot of sell to go on there for the staff. So it just gives you this selling point that you don't have right now, and you desperately need it. And that's the bottom line. It's a new selling point instead of, hey, we'll play you if you're a freshman. It's hey, we got somebody for you.
Right. You always have somebody here.
That's another offensive weapon that you can watch for this, maybe. But he's already got a date set, so it's
he's the one that I honestly don't know that it affects his recruitment.
I agree.
I think Usman's going to do whatever he was going to do, regardless of who the quarterback in the class is. But I like your theory on offensive weapons, Cole.
Well, Caleb Cunningham, I'm not saying he jumps in the boat if Deuce Knight does, but he certainly goes. Because when we talked to him after the game he was at, Jeffrey, he said, yeah, well, it kind of came down to who had the quarterback in place, and that was Alabama. And maybe Ole Miss does too in some of the other places, but he was like, I really feel good about their situation. If he looks at Auburn now with Deuce, if he were to commit, I think he likes that. I think he likes Auburn enough already. So, yeah, I think
Jay Givens will fix it. Cole, update. You mentioned Andrew Babalola. I mentioned Naeem Alford. I thought 2 of the bigger updates in the past couple of days were Naeem Alford coming in for an unofficial visit on Friday. He went down and watched his brother play at Tulane.
Yes.
I think who beat South Florida. Good running back. But he stopped in Auburn, had a nice little visit. There's some confidence there at Auburn. And getting Deuce Knight certainly would not hurt with that recruitment. Cole Babalola, you said he had opened up to Chad Simmons on Tuesday. Really was pretty vague. I mean, this kid, he knows what he's doing.
Sure.
Didn't really tip his hand or anything, Cole.
No, I don't think I think in his case, and he does know what he's doing, but I don't know if he has so much of a hand to tip I think it's more of I think he's being genuine. I don't think he
Genuinely
knows.
honest. Yeah.
And that's why my sources were saying the last time we talked about this, they were saying, you know, we've heard that he might wait till the end of the season, but that ain't no guarantee. And we definitely can't approach it like that because it could be any time. Well, that's because he doesn't know yet, and when he knows, he'll relay it to the staff. I think he will take care of business with that. He'll let everybody know that's recruiting him, and he hasn't done that yet. And that's why we knew it was probably going to take a little more time. And now we know for sure it is going to take some more time. And he's not going to take any more visits, which is interesting. You would think he might want a game visit, but no, he's seen enough. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Early November, maybe is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and I think their season ends at the end of October, which is a little early, but I think that's when their season ends. So that's when you want to start tapping in again with this one and going, yeah, it's getting close.
Interesting about the game visit. And I got to think that somebody is going to press him to try to get him on campus and not look, he may hold firm and decide, hey, I truly have enough information. I don't need to, but it just, to me, if his season actually ends in October or late October, and there's so many different games that are going to be on Auburn's campus, I just can't imagine Auburn not trying to get him back on campus at some point, maybe potentially for the A&M game, which would be the big one.
Let's see. Oh, Jonathan P. Do you think any other schools could emerge and threaten for Sam Turner, or does it look more likely this remains Auburn, Georgia Tech until the end? I don't know of any other schools at this time. Sam has been adamant that it was Auburn or Georgia Tech, but the way he's playing this senior year, I wouldn't doubt other schools trying to get involved.
Sure.
But as it stands today, as far as I know, it's just Auburn and Georgia Tech. Has anybody heard any differently?
I haven't heard of another school. That doesn't mean there won't be, but
right.
I mean, you're still going through senior season tape here at this point. So there's somebody could reach out, but I think it's going to be between Auburn and Georgia Tech as of right now.
If I'm Auburn, I'm pressing to get him in the class sooner rather than later because of the way he's playing. Because you just nailed it, Jeffrey. I mean, he's averaging 20-plus yards a catch right now, just went for over 200 yards in this most recent game. I mean, he is playing exceptionally well. I don't know who the other team would be. Georgia's pretty full at receiver, and that would be one. Tennessee maybe is somebody that could take a look there. Maybe like a Miami or somebody of that nature.
Florida State just lost the receiver.
Yes, Florida State. So there are other schools in the Southeast that could use a playmaker that would make sense to get in on Sam Turner. But as of today, I mean, I haven't heard anything to suggest otherwise other than it being Auburn and Georgia Tech. But you guys would be more read in there than me.
And fantastic eval by Tech and Auburn.
Yes.
Jared Nelson, 11. Do you think Auburn reached out to Juju again just to put the pressure on Deuce to get in the boat and pull the trigger to flip to us? That was a crazy question. Do you think Auburn reached out to Juju again to put the pressure on Deuce to maybe muscle up on some leverage? Maybe is what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't think there was a reach out again. I think it was the first time Auburn reached out to Julian Lewis, the communication never was cut off. I think it was always there. Wouldn't y'all agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Everybody knows that. Even Deuce Knight knows Auburn's not going to do that from the get-go. So, yeah, they stayed in contact with him. I think they stayed in contact with KJ Lacey and worked every angle of this thing. If you're this far into it and you haven't worked every angle, you're not in good shape. And we can criticize what they do on the field sometimes, but from a recruiting standpoint, there's not much I can criticize.
No, it's hard to find something, isn't it?
It is. It is.
What you got, Alan?
Nothing. Yeah, you guys hit it all.
Okay. I don't think. I think maybe the attitude towards Juju might have changed in the last week or two.
That's a good way to put it.
The posture, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I think they might have been more receptive to that situation.
Well said. I think they were talking but at a distance, and then in the last week or two said, "What was that again?
Yep.
Come on in here and tell me that." And hey, Deuce, you see this? It's time. And Deuce was like, "Let me defecate or get off the pot." Hughes Freezer. Does Dante Core project more as a true corner or nickel? This is a good question, Alan,
Yeah,
for both of you. Dante Core has been having a fantastic season down at Choctawacawacha High School.
Isn't he a Choctahatchee High in that where he's at?
That's all. That's how easy it is.
I think so.
God, when I spell it, it's like, what in the hell is this?
It's intimidating. I agree. It's an
Okay.
intimidating word.
Choctahatchee is 4 syllables. That's it.
You got it. I think so.
Okay. I mean, that's what I said to begin.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah. So, does he have the speed, the twitch at corner, or would you like to see him slide inside and nickel?
Ooh. He's got the kind of body I think he could do either or. I really do. I've been impressed with what I've seen on tape from him playing on the outside, more so than I thought I would be. Initially, I thought he was going to be more of a nickel, maybe even a safety, but he's shown some playmaking ability on the outside, more speed than I would have anticipated. The hips are not as fluid. I mean, in his junior tape, his hips look slightly stiff, but what I've seen of him so far is he looks more natural right now. So I think he's the kind of player that he's a stock up guy because he gives you the versatility to be able to do a lot of things. And I don't think he's pigeonholed in any one spot just yet. I still probably tend to lean because of how big his frame is that he'll move inside, but he gives you the option, the versatility to be able to play outside as well. But Cole, how do you see it?
Well, true corner, there just ain't many of those out there.
No,
there just aren't. Auburn did its best to try to alleviate the corner position this year and throw Keontae Scott in there. And you can go back to Jalen Simpson when they had similar depth issues. They tried him at corner, and sometimes it just doesn't work. That doesn't mean Jalen Simpson wasn't a good football player. He's in the NFL now because he moved to safety, and he was really, really good at it. So true corner is hard to come by. I can't just throw that out to anybody. I don't know if I can call Dante Core like this true corner yet. Right now, I think he can play corner, but probably better fit at nickel or safety. But boy, he's got really good length and he covers well.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people, I remember there was maybe a couple knocks on Jay Crawford's true speed back last year.
I was one of those. Like I was not impressed with what I saw early on. Now his late tape looked significantly better, but early on I was like,
And sometimes, look, your game speed's different. Number one, number two, it could just be a coverage thing. You're just good in coverage.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And sometimes long speed or true speed doesn't determine how good you are in coverage, right?
Agreed.
So there's a lot working there, but I think he could play either right now is what I would put it at.
Auburn will certainly need to be very good on the edge this weekend when they go to Georgia. If any of you going to Georgia, you still looking for some tickets? Cole might help you out here.
Yeah, Game Time. That's our sponsor there, Game Time. If you're watching this, you might be an Auburn fan.
Might be
going to Georgia. Maybe you like music. Creed, Zach Top. Those are a few of mine. You need to try Game Time. Don't waste your time looking through thousands of tickets, man. Game Time filters out all the fluff. It shows you incredible deals on great seats. They have a great deal option, which is basically showing you the most favorable deal available for your situation, for your money. You put it all in, filter it out. I like that about it. Shows you the seat view in a panoramic style, which is awesome. And it shows you how to get a feel for the venue that you might be getting. All that's really cool, especially if you're looking at stadiums. You can just go through that all day and check it out, what the seats look like. So, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ON3 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's ON3, ON, the number 3, $20 off. What time is it?
Game time. Hey, the coolest part about that is going, well, where are these seats and what does it look like?
Yes, very much so.
I like you get the panoramic.
I appreciate that. Do you know the work that had to be done by that intern?
No
Oh my God.
And then you get up and move over one seat. Shoot. Anyways, good stuff. Game time. We appreciate y'all, man.
Absolutely.
Augustus McCray, he's scared to be lazy. What's the plan for the second running back spot with Chroma likely heading to Georgia? Wouldn't say likely heading to Georgia, but we will play this as hypothetically Usman Chroma picks Georgia, commits to Georgia on Saturday. What is the plan for running back recruitment? I have a theory.
Okay.
I think Auburn would continue to recruit Chroma. They'll continue to recruit Mills Knight.
Yep.
If they don't get one of those big dogs, I think they'll just take it in. Take Alvin, go to the portal. That is one way to do it. Another way is maybe adding a developmental guy.
Yeah.
Like a Trey Kinkle.
Yes.
Just to get another body in that room that you think will develop into year 2 or 3.
I like that theory, Jeffrey, because the 2026 class is loaded with backs that you're already in at least a good place with. I won't say good spot, but good place with, like Omar Mapson from Auburn, the kid from
Derek Cooper, maybe from Chaminade.
Yes. Yep.
Got to see him. Cole, did you say Derek Cooper?
Derek Cooper, Carson Baker.
Baker.
Who's there's another one too from Georgia Jonas Walton.
Walton.
They got all kinds of options that have been visiting pretty frequently from the 26 class. You might just look at this 25 class and go, we'll take Alvin, be happy with that. Add a transfer or two, like you said, call it a day.
Yeah. And Alan?
I think the possibility exists that maybe you do both of those things. Maybe you take a guy late that comes on during his senior year. We see it all the time where there are late developing running backs. And that you also take a portal candidate, because I think right now you're still unsure of what's going to happen with Sean Jackson. If you know that Sean's going to come back for one more year, then you only really need one other back beyond Alvin. And so the portal makes a lot of sense. But if Sean's not going to return, that puts you at only 4 running backs on your roster. And I still think that's a little bit thin given the physicality with which people play in the SEC. So I think there's an opportunity for both of those things to transpire. But whereas I have suggested DeJuan Morris and or maybe Turbo Rogers as being alternatives, I don't really feel that way right now.
I actually took them off the hot board this week.
I think that is fair, given I've kind of poked around to ask to see what the interest is. And I think there's still interest on Auburn's part. We talked about posture before. I don't know that they're necessarily receptive to it. And maybe that conversation would change, but I'm with you. I think they're going to go for those two, Shakai Mills Knight and Chroma. Maybe they'll keep their eye open for somebody that develops late, and then the transfer portal was definitely going to be an option. And that's a place you can get a running back for good market value. You don't necessarily there's portal prices for premium players, and then there's portal prices for like running backs and safeties. And those two spots, they're generally pretty market friendly.
True.
It might be cheaper to go transfer portal than it would be to go to high school back.
Sometimes it is.
Mm-hmm. Grogu 99 with Caleb Harris with a K. Yeah. Playing so well as a freshman, would Anquan Fagan's new boy come in to play the other safety spot? That would be the plan. But who would be his competition back there with Jaron Williams leaving? Sylvester Smith?
Yes, for sure.
Smith. Terrence Tyler is starting to play a little bit.
Yep.
Tyler Scott will be back.
That's right.
Be interesting where he will be.
Yeah, I was going to say, are they going to play him in the nickel? Are they going to play him at safety? Are they going to play him at corner? He's another kid that checks a lot of boxes at a lot of different positions for you.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited about that kid.
He's going to play. Don't you worry about that. And Eric Winters, I expect there to be a spot for both of those guys.
Yeah. Oh, Fat Crack, are you guys satisfied? Are you satisfied or are you good with the pure edge guys we have at the moment. On the roster, maybe is what he's talking about. I will say this. I'm surprised, speaking of the edge position in recruiting,
Mm-hmm.
we haven't seen Third Scroggins back at Auburn.
Nope.
We haven't seen Zion Grady back at Auburn.
Nope.
That's surprising to me. I thought they would be back.
I'm not surprised on Grady. I am surprised on Third. I will be honest.
I just thought Zion would come up with Eric, just for a game, and he hasn't.
I'm with you on that. I mean, that would make sense to me. I just don't know how hard they're pressing Zion. That's what I can't get a clear answer on where he sits with them. Now, I know what my personal evaluation is that he's a tweener, man, and he's not the explosive athlete that I would anticipate that you need at that bulk position to be like an all-out pass rusher, and he's not quite big enough to be a end just yet or a 5-tech. I think that's what he's going to project to, but he's not there just yet, and because of that, my evaluation on him is a little split. So he's down the board for me. But as far as the coaching staff is concerned, look, Josh doesn't need my help projecting where that kid lands. And if he really wants him, he'll go and get him. I feel certain on that. But I haven't heard anything to me that makes me think that Zion is a no doubt, like they're selling out on that kid.
I agree, and I think it has a lot to do with Durkin's scheme, and we've watched enough now to know that the buck or edge, which in Ron Roberts' scheme, I'd say it was more of a defensive end edge. And in this scheme, definitely a true outside linebacker that moves around and does all kinds of different things. And they don't just say that. They actually do. I mean, Jalen McLeod lines up in so many different places, and you ask yourself, is Zion Grady that skill set? I don't know if that's the case. I think he's more of your Ron Roberts type of edge.
I would agree with that. And I tell you who is that kind of edge? JJ Falk, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, he fits that to a T.
I'll give you another one. Anthony Crua is got a similar skill set to that. And that's why I'm telling you, I would keep an eye on that guy. And I feel like if Auburn doesn't take him, I think it would be a mistake.
No, you are speaking truth to power on that, Cole, because I took a look at him. And when they said linebacker, immediately I was like, inside, like Mike? But the more I watch what DJ does and how they play Jalen McLeod, I think Anthony Crua is tailor-made for that. So I think you're really spot on there.
Curious to see if he comes back for an OV and if Auburn makes a big push for the North Carolina commitment out of Georgia.
He definitely wants to, I think. But based on talking to him in person, he kind of smiled and was like, we'll see what happens. So that seems to be in the cards.
Let's get A-Head's honest opinion on this question from A-Head's honest opinion.
Gosh, these usernames, man, they own me.
They are fantastic.
Zach picked some good ones out tonight.
Yes, he did.
Thoughts on Deuce Knight versus Juju Lewis? If we had to start one of them next season, who's more ready to start next season?
Well, in my honest opinion, Juju Lewis, and it's not even close.
Yeah,
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Juju is far more game ready, more polished. We could argue upside, and I think Deuce has as much, if not more, upside than Juju Lewis. But as far as the ability to be able to play tomorrow, it's Juju.
I agree.
Yep.
Oh, questioning AU Hawk Tua. What recruits in the past 4 cycles did we have a legit shot with, but we missed that would have had the biggest impact on the current roster? We'll start with Ryan Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. Quay Russaw, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably do this. Just go look at Alabama's roster. And
I mean, before the season, I would have said James Smith and Quay Russaw, but I actually think Auburn's front seven is pretty stingy. So they're playing well. I don't necessarily know if you need them. They'd be a luxury for sure.
Let me go back to that 2021 class, because the corner that was from Alabama that ended up signing with Georgia, what's that kid's name?
Kamari Lassiter?
Yes, that kid would have helped out massively.
Yeah, that was a big one.
What about the D lineman from Phoenix City who went to Clemson?
Oh, TJ Parker and Peter Woods.
Woods. Yep, there you go. Peter
Both
Woods
of those.
Thompson, maybe.
Yes, Peter Woods was Thompson for sure. Those would have definitely helped. Riley Leonard would have helped. He was the 2021 class.
What about your boy receiver, Cole, that went to Southern Miss or somewhere?
Receiver that went to Southern Miss.
Oh, Eric Singleton.
Oh,
yeah,
he went Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Yeah, that's a good one. Again, though, it's funny. The preseason outlook versus what we're seeing on the field is a little bit different. I mean, I would have thought you needed another guy like Eric Singleton. Now I'm looking at the receivers at Auburn and going, shoot.
Hell yes, Zach.
Zach in the back.
Oh yeah, Reuben Bain.
And he's been nicked up injured this year, but last year as a true freshman, man, he was out there just I watched him literally DDT an offensive tackle. I was like, my God, dude.
Yeah, he's live wire.
Yeah,
I think Rock Bellantoni, man, they had a great relationship when he was at Auburn.
When I think of Reuben Bain, I think of Rock Bellantoni, and
Gosh,
he was
I think he was going to Auburn if Rock stayed.
Me too. Rock Bellantoni was at Auburn for 1 year, and he will go down as one. I still talk to him. He's one of my absolute favorite people that I've ever met.
I pull for Florida Atlantic really hard. I mean, I watch their games intently.
I love his wife, his sons. Those are good people, man.
And you know what? For Rock, getting to go back to FAU and put his family kind of back together because they stayed in South Florida for the most part, right?
Yep.
His boys played baseball down there, if I remember correctly.
Still do.
So good for him that he's got a defensive coordinator job down there, working for a good head coach in Tom Herman. So
I want to real quick before we end it. Do y'all think that the preseason outlook versus what you've seen now from this roster is different? Let's say at receiver, you're talking about a guy like Eric Singleton. I mean, I thought you had to have a guy like that before the season. Now I'm looking at the receivers and going, they're pretty sporty.
You're good.
You got that guy in Malcolm Simmons. You just didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I think we all thought Malcolm was going to be good. I don't think anybody thought he would be that good this quick.
I think we all thought he would be the number 3 of the 4 and not number 2, pushing for number 1. I mean, let's be honest here. No, I don't think anybody's going to I really don't think anybody's going to rise above Cam Coleman of the 4. But damn, Malcolm sure is making a damn case for it, isn't he?
He is, and maybe because Malcolm is not asked to do everything that Cam is being asked, he's playing a little more free.
He's got
he does have a role, but I tell you what, he excels at that role, and he is just twitchy, and the balance and body control on him, the ability to make plays in space with the ball in his hand, how he tracks the ball. I mean, I'm just thoroughly impressed because he was raw. I mean, hell, Cole, I remember you watched him at a camp, 2 summers ago, and you could see the athleticism, but he was just an athlete at that point.
Yeah, at the time, it was him and Bryce Kane at the same camp, and Bryce was definitely showing out a little bit on the routes, whereas Malcolm was rounding it off a little bit. He wasn't quite familiar with some of the routes they were giving him. But when he went up and got the ball, and when he took off in his burst, and you're like, whoa, okay, that guy's serious, and it's coming to fruition. I mean, there's still some things he's got to clean up, like getting north on some of those sweeps and things. But the point is, are there other positions on this team that you think are like, all right, actually, they're better off there than I realized?
Like we were concerned with preseason, and now we're like, what were we worried about?
Yeah,
defensive line,
from a portal and from a recruiting standpoint.
Defensive line for sure for me. They've been more solid than I would have given them credit for at this point, though I still think they're not as deep as I would have liked for them to have been.
Yeah.
But Philip Bleedy has answered my questions. Keldrick Falk has played better than I would have thought, and I think he's only going to continue to get better. Bobby Jamison Travis, you've gotten contribution out of him. Jason Jones has played. He's given me a little bit better than I would have thought.
100%. Yep. Zykevis Walker has played.
Yes.
Has he?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zeke's been solid on the run.
Really crazy enough, the guys we thought were going to be Gage Keys and Trill Carter. I mean, you could go find a show where we're like, yeah, those guys are immediate contributors. They ain't playing.
No, they're riding the pine, man.
Never thought we'd see Malik Blockton, a true freshman, stepping in there and making the impact he has.
I didn't think you'd see. I mean, look, I knew this freshman class was good. If the guys that were the DeMarcus Riddicks continue, like that, your highlight guys in this class, those are ceiling guys. But I thought Malik Blockton was a floor guy. He's not. And if he's not a floor guy, I mean, this class has an opportunity to do something special. You got an opportunity to get 12, maybe 13 starters out of that group.
You ain't kidding.
You know what I mean?
And so my follow-up question to this is, with the class you currently have in 2025, you got, let's say, 3 to 4 or 5 more spots. Where do you spend your money if you're Auburn? Where do you put the most resource into right now if you're Auburn? Where's the spot that has to be shored up the most? Because you know you're going to get some freshman help. You can see that.
Are you talking about in the portal? Is that what you're talking about, Cole?
No, just 25 class.
25 class period. Got to be corner. You don't have enough bodies there for sure. So that means Naheem Alford.
Yeah. He would be one of those that we talk, he's playing next year.
Got to have more depth at receiver. You don't have enough, in my opinion, specifically with the guys that you're going to be graduating this year. Offensive line.
So who's the receiver? Is it Caleb Cunningham? Is it Sam Turner?
Maybe both. Definitely. Look, I think you're far enough in with Sam Turner at this point. You got to see that one through. You got to go ahead and get that one so that you feel good about where you stand in your receiver room. And look, I'm not opposed and actually am in favor of, also kicking the tires on TK Norman and Dalen Upshaw.
Sure.
I might even take both because I'm going to be honest with you. I know Derek Smith is a receiver or is being recruited as such. I think he's a nickel all day, every day at the next level. And I would take, yes. And I would take both those guys as a receiver. I really would, man. I mean, I think Derek is,
because he's so good at nickel, or he's not as good as you had hoped at wide receiver.
No, I think it's the first.
Yes.
And he's the kind of guy that, very raw. It'd take him a minute to get the whole position down, but you would use him kind of like DeMarcus Riddick, right? Hey, you've got a role. This is your role today. You spot number 9 is yours. Don't let him go. You would give Derek Smith something like that, and he has that athleticism, that just shocking athleticism that he could do something like that on the field early on, right?
Do you remember Rudy Ford when he came here?
Pride of New Hope.
Yep, came here as a running back, and then they converted him to defensive back, and they tried him at corner. And then the second they moved him into the nickel, and it just like unlocked the whole defense.
Yeah.
That's the kind of player I think Derek Smith is.
I mean,
look, if this wasn't, the day and age of the transfer portal, I would Tommy Tuberville that deal like he did with Carlos Dansby. Like, yeah, dude, you're a receiver. Come on in. You play a linebacker today. You know what I mean? The second practice.
You're on the wrong field.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The linebacker room's down there, big dog.
Yep, you're going to need to head on down there.
Grab your blue jersey.
All right, how about you, man? Got any how about you this week?
Yeah, I got 2. You go ahead, Cole.
Let me do 5.
Okay.
Go back to my guy, Lemons on My Eyes. Lemons on My Eyes. It's just, he's my film buddy. I like my film buddies. The guys that are, hey, you don't see them unless it's time to talk film, and then they start posting. You're like,
yeah.
Okay. Lemons on My Eyes is that guy. MD Hill. MDHILL. MD Hill.
Okay.
Gets one for sure. Ram Jam.
All one word?
All one word. Ram Jam. Matt Huggins.
Okay.
HUGGINS.
That's right. And it's
2 words. Okay.
Yes, 2 words. Matt Huggins. And then met this guy at the game. J Heath J, I believe is his username.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure for you, Jeffrey, but it's J Heath J, I believe.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, met him at the game. Great dude. So one for him as well.
Mr. Allen Head.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to go with a couple of mainstays. I think we've probably highlighted them a couple times, but Knight Rider gets the first one.
Knight
Oh.
Rider.
Yeah.
We haven't given him one in a minute.
KNIGHT.
KNIGHTRIDDA.
One word, or is there a space in there?
One word.
Okay.
The next one is War Eagle GSU.
Oh, he's
yeah.
a good one.
He's
A
good.
good one.
The third one is LA Whip.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like him too.
Me too.
Yep. And last but not least, Reckoner 1.
Okay. I have, yes, I like it.
Yeah.
RECKONER.
You got it.
He rides the fence a little bit, but
Yeah.
I like him. I like him. a
I
lot.
think he's a he has what do you call it when you come back as somebody else?
Oh,
He's a reincarnated.
Yeah.
reincarnation. Yeah.
So who was he at first?
I don't know, but
you
know when these new guys they
recognize
just
the
come back.
personality.
Yeah.
Oh, you know the
But-
posting style. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, I got a couple. I've got 6. I got Pride 69, and I'll tell you why. Pride 69's he's a what I just say reincarnated version of somebody.
Okay.
Definitely.
And Rick Dalton. But the reason they're getting how about you is they argued Rice into leaving the board,
What?
Yeah.
proved him wrong. And Rice was actually a good sport. He said, "All right, y'all did it. I lost the bet. I'm out. If y'all really want me to be out." He's like, I mean, I'll leave if y'all want me to.
Oh.
And they were like, no, we ain't gonna do that to you. Like, okay, all right, cool, man. So, anyways, like I was saying. Mad Dog 43. How about you, Big Dog, for just good, reasonable, logical, rational poster. I like him
Voice of
in these
reason.
times. Voice of reason, absolutely. AU 86KB for several different posts. He was
Yes.
he's been fantastic. Makes me giggle a little bit. Giggle like a little schoolgirl. I was giggling that time, but I had to mute it. How about you to War Eagle HN 2013? I think he was a new guy. Came in.
Okay.
Well, how about you, Big Dog? And how about you to Gus Chiggins?
That's a hell of a name.
Gus Chiggins, Andrew at the Butcher Paper. In
Okay.
Opelika. My goodness, dude. Holy cow. You got that pepper sauce. Got them greens. Dude, we went and had, me and Jessica went the other day. I've been a couple times the past couple of weeks. The brisket is fantastic. I love brisket because of Butcher Paper.
There you go, man. Because
And
that's
the
not
ribs.
that's not that crock pot brisket or ribs.
No, sir.
You know what I mean?
No, sir. Andrew and them at Butcher Paper in Opelika. Fantastic establishment. Best barbecue. And I'm a barbecue guy. I eat barbecue everywhere in Auburn. And that's at the top for me right now. Butcher Paper, Opelika. Andrew, appreciate you, Big Dog, and go check them out. Tell them Auburn Live sent you.
There you go.
You might throw an extra rib on your plate. You never know.
I gotta go try that, Jeffrey. I passed it the other day, I believe.
Dude,
Isn't it the car dealership over there?
it was probably.
I think. Yeah.
It's not far off the interstate.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Alan, tried your place in Elba.
Did you? You tried JJ's?
Got me a plate.
Good for you, man.
Very fantastic.
Oh,
Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I got another one. Hold on. I missed one. How about you, the Sex Panther by Odeon? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
About
dude.
Odeon, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Odeon.
I think it's Odeon.
I think it's Odeon.
Sex
Yeah.
Panther by. Oh, is that the 60% of the time?
Yeah.
Yes,
every-
all
okay.
the time.
All
Got bits of
right.
real panther in it.
Okay. He somebody asked like what would happen if we beat Georgia, and he was like people would complain that about the losses earlier in the year, like if it wasn't for the losses I thought that's exactly what would happen.
Oh, for
We wouldn't
sure.
even care about it. We
No.
won that game,
Yeah,
man.
they would still complain about the losses, and Auburn
enough.
should be 6-0.
Yes. Hands down. That would be a Rick Dalton post the next day, guaranteed.
Oh, man.
But really, a decent week of cornering. I'll give them a decent week. It was a decent week.
Yeah.
Maybe we're used to it now, Jeffrey, but
Maybe.
nothing beats cow week. The post cow week. That was the worst it was a rough week for me.
Oh.
But hey, it's not. I feel like it's getting better.
See, here's the thing, though. I mean, I think the corner can take losing to Oklahoma, but losing to the nerds, man, like
Yeah, that one hurt.
the protesting nerds, just like that hurts your soul. So.
It was so shocking too. I give them, the benefit of the doubt on that.
Yes.
Hey, I want to get one more in. It's James, the thief. I met James the other day before the game. He came up to me before the game. He's like, man, I'm on the site, but I go under my friends. I use my friend's username. I was like, I appreciate your honesty, big dog.
Yeah.
But the username was Eli Hud. I think there's a number at the end of it. I'll figure it out. But Eli Hud. James with Eli Hud's handle.
Okay. I thought he was James the thief on the corner. I was like, man, I got to look this one up.
Yeah,
James the thief.
Yeah.
No, James, go get your mama to buy you a subscription.
There you go.
And your handle will be James the thief.
I like it.
All right, folks. Let's wrap it up there. One more time for me, Cole. Y'all go to that rowback.com. Use that promo code Auburn20 to get 20% off for this week. Fantastic clothing, fantastic price. You will not be disappointed. And Cole's got you on that game time, big dog.
Yep, $20 off. Code is on3. ON number 3. $20 off.
Ooh. All right, folks, that's going to do it. If you haven't subscribed to Auburn Live on 3, go do it now. Always a promo going on there. You will not be disappointed. Recruiting's still going. And we're expecting a huge turnaround from this team. I mean, huge. So y'all go check us out, Auburn Live on 3. Also go check out the YouTube page if you haven't already. Like and subscribe to our YouTube page. If the website's not your thing, you can always hit that Auburn Live, join the Auburn Live Plus on YouTube for $2.99 a month. Cole's fantastic, dude. The Cole's stuff is worth the price of admission, and you would not be disappointed with any of that content. That's going to do it, folks. We appreciate everybody listening. We appreciate everybody watching. For Cole, for Alan Head, for Zach in the back, I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay out of that left lane. See you.